Good morning, and welcome to our Food for Thought sports betting picks and analysis for January the 16th. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be discussing today, of course, our usual lineup, NBA leans and analysis, college basketball leans and analysis, and the NHL. So let's get started with the National Basketball Association. First game up, we're looking at Indiana. So if you look at the line here, we're seeing here Detroit opened up as a 2.5 point favorite, and the total is 226.5. Right now, we're seeing mainly 228, and the total is -3. That's what we're seeing. 3.5s here, but the majority is 3 right now. So we're going to look into this game here a little bit further. We're actually going to get the last 10 games of this series. We're definitely going to look into that. Last 10 games between Indiana and Detroit. I'm just going to pull this up now so you see where I'm coming from. Indiana, Detroit, last 10. Like I said, you guys are wondering where I'm getting this information from. Here it is. So the last 10 games we're going to look at here. Indiana, Detroit. Head-to-head 7-3. Indiana 7-3 against the spread. 6-4 to the over. Now these teams have played twice, as you can see. First meeting was in Detroit. Pacers won 115-109. They were 5.5 point favorites. It was under 235.5. That was the total. Second meeting November 29th in Indiana. Pacers won that game 130-106. They were 5 point underdogs. Yes, Detroit was a 5 point. Detroit was a 5 point dog in Indiana, and then Detroit went outright 130-106. The total was 230.5, and it did go over. So this third meeting now, 3.5 Detroit, total 228.5. So this is the first time Detroit's been favored in this series. You look at the history of these two teams. The last 10 games, Indiana against other opposition, 8-2, and then there's 6-4 against the spread, and 6-4 to the over. Excuse me, that's Detroit. That's Detroit's last 10. Excuse me. Indiana's last 10, 7-3, and 7-3 against the spread, 5-4 and 1 to the over. So my take is here. I would just take the over in this series. Number one, head-to-head, they have split 1-1 to the over/under, but overall, head-to-head 6-4. And another reason why, to the last 10 games, both teams are playing to the over. So everything correlates to the over in this case. So I like the over in this game. Now, in terms of the side here, I would lean to Indiana. At least a slight lean to Indiana, 3.5. I just feel like in this series, especially the last game here, it seems like the dogs have been covering in this series. The dogs have been covering. And especially this game's in Detroit, and Detroit's favored. I know Indiana hasn't won in there, but I would still lean to the Pacers to cover. Don't know if I'll get to the window with that, but as just a lean, let's take it for what it's worth. Now, in terms of the props, we'll go over the props here on this game. Indiana, Detroit. We'll get to the props. We'll get to that. I know you guys are a lot of prop guys out there that need this information, so I'll give that to you. So in terms of the props, we're basically looking at, we're going to look at it from the Indiana side. We're going to take Cade Cunningham. He's been pretty consistent here. Again, for him, it's all about points, rebounds, and assists. He's been very consistent there. The clearing number from 41.5. So he's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times, including 3 straight games. So I like that one for Cade Cunningham. I lean that way. Another prop you can do. So we're going to go under, search for another player here. That gives you an overview of what I'm doing for the props. So you see now you see exactly where I'm getting that information from. So now we're going to go back here, and we'll find some other player props here. Just give me a moment. Let's see. Look at Pascal Siakam, Indiana. His clearing number for points, 20.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Assists over 2.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times. Siakam's a good one to look at here. Points, rebounds, and assists, 31.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So this is actually a good one to look at for Pascal Siakam. Now for the Pistons, you have Malik Beasley. Beasley, points, 15.5 points. He's cleared this number 3 in the last, actually 4 of the last 5 times he's cleared this number. So he's been pretty consistent there. 3-point shooting, 3.5 is a projection. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. Rebounding, Beasley, 2.5 rebounds. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So you can look at either one of those is good. Points and rebounds. This is more of the one I would lean towards out of all of them. Points, rebounds, 18.5 is the clearing number for Malik Beasley. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. So the points and rebounds is the one I would lean and focus in on more. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's it for that game, for Pistons and Indiana. So we are going to go to the next game here. So Phoenix at Washington. So the line opened up Phoenix 11.5. Total 234.5. Right now we are looking at 231.5. The line is still at 11.5. So the line really hasn't moved, but the total has moved. So it's 231.5. It went down actually to 231.5. So we'll look at the matchup. Phoenix Washington. Last 10 meetings between these two teams. Phoenix Washington. 6-4. Phoenix has won the series. 5-5 against the spread. 7-3 to the over. Phoenix in general, last 10 games against other opposition. 4-6 last 10. 3-6-1 against the spread. 2-6-2 to the under. Washington 1-9 in their last 10 games. 4-6 against the spread. 6-4 to the over. So Washington's lost their last 7 games. The last 7 games they've lost. They are gone over 2 straight times. Phoenix, they had won 3 straight, lost. Phoenix has gone over twice. I have no opinion on this game at all. This game's a complete pass. Nothing here at all whatsoever. In terms of the player props, let's see here in regards to that. Player props in this game, we're still looking, okay. So for Phoenix, we're going to look at Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Those two we're going to look at. So first we'll start off with Devin Booker. Assists Devin Booker over 7.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Rebounding over 4.5 rebounds. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So the one I would go with here as a lean, points, rebounds, and assists for Devin Booker, 39.5. That's the lean I would go with for that one. So we're going to see here now Kevin Durant. Points, 27.5 points is the clearing number. He's cleared this number 2 in the last 5 meetings. Assists, 4.5 assists. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 meetings. So for Kevin Durant, the best option is points, rebounds, and assists, 39.5. He's cleared this number in the last 2 games, so I'd go back to that again. Durant's on a hot streak there. Points, rebounds, and assists. Yeah, I would definitely lean towards that. All right, so that's all for that one. Now, on the Washington side, the only one you can actually lean on for props, if you have to do a Washington, it'd basically be Jordan Poole. He's the one out there. I would lean to him for props. So Poole, points, rebounds, and assists over 31.5. He hasn't cleared that number as yet, but I expect him to have a big role in tonight's game for him to do that. So I'd go for that one. Or you can do assists. Yeah, that's the one I would do. I wouldn't do anything else for that, for those props. So those are the leans for the props for now. Next game we're going to look at. We're going to look at Cleveland at OKC. This is basically the rematch from last week. So they're playing this time in OKC. The line opened up at -4. 234 is the total. Right now, we're looking at 232.5. Total being 1.5. That's what we're looking at right now across the board. So in regards to this game, we noticed they had played last week. Let's see. Yeah, they played last week in Cleveland, January the 8th of this year. Cleveland was a -3-point favorite over 231.5. And it was 129-122 Cleveland. Now, last 10 meetings in general between these two teams. In general, it's 9-1 last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. OKC's last 10, 9-1 last 10, 8-2 against the spread, 5-4-1 to the over. So once again in this game here, I would definitely lean to the over 233.5. And in terms of the side, I'm going to lean to OKC. OKC to exact some revenge against Cleveland in a loss on the road. I think OKC, I would lean OKC to square the series even with the win and the over. So in regards to player props, let's see here. Player props in this game. Shai Alexander. Points, 32.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 meetings. Assists, five. The clear number is 5.5. He has cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. So I would look at points, rebounds, and assists for Shea Alexander. It's at 44.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Or points and assists, you can look at 38.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So either points and assists or points, rebounds, and assists. That's the one I would definitely, one of those I would definitely go with for sure. Let's see. So now on the Cleveland side for props, Donovan Mitchell. Let's see for him. Spidey. Okay, so this one here, better to go with points and rebounds. 26.5, the clearing number. He's cleared this number once, actually. Once in the last 5 games. But I feel after the last game he played, and especially against OKC, where he had where he played very well at home, I expect that to carry over in OKC on the road. So I can see him clearing this number, 26.5. Points and rebounds. I would take that for sure. I can definitely see him clearing that. So that'd be a lean for now. On the Pelicans side, let me see. Over 1.5 3-pointers. I would lean towards that. Against Dort, I lean towards that. That's all there for the props. Nothing else really stands out like a sore thumb for those props. So we're going to look at the next game. We're going to look at Houston at Sacramento. Sacramento -3, total 226.5. Right now we're looking at 25.5 total. 25.5 total, and the spread is at minus. So look at the head-to-head, Houston versus Sacramento. We're going to take a look at that now. Let's see. So Houston, Sacramento. So you're gonna see last 10 meetings, 7-3. Last 10. Sacramento's winning, of course. Last 10, 4-5 against the spread, 4-5-1 against the spread, 8-2 to the over. That's the last 10 meetings. Now they had played last month, early December, in Sacramento. Sacramento's a 1.5 point favorite. Total is 230. Sacramento won 120 to 111. They won that game. So now we're going to look at play in general. Houston in general against other teams. 7-3 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-3-1 to the over. So Houston has won 5 games in a row. They played very well. 3 of the 5 wins have been on the road, so they're looking good and they're playing well. Sacramento, 7-3 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. So Sacramento had won 8 games in a row. So they won 8 straight games. And laying the points with them, they're 2-1 against the spread. So Sacramento here, they're just coming back from a road trip. They had a long road trip, so they're back from the road trip. This series has been an over series. This one is going to be a pass. I'm not going to touch this game. This one's a complete pass. No
Alert.
Um, in terms of the props, player props, we're definitely going to look into this one. So we're going to look on the Sacramento side. Let's see what we pull up here. So on the Sacramento side, you have De'Aaron Fox. Let's see what we have here. So for Fox, so we're going to look at points, rebounds, and assists for De'Aaron Fox. Points, rebounds, and assists is 35.5. He cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times. However, in the last 2 games, he's carried some momentum into the points, rebounds, and assists. So I see that continuing today for points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to take that one. So we're going to look here. We're going to see so we're going to check here. We're going to see Sabonis. Sabonis 17.5 points. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. Another one is rebounds. Rebounds 14.5 assists. I'm sorry, 14.5 rebounds. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. The one I would go after as a lead, points, rebounds, and assists, 39.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. That's the one I'd be going after. And that's for Sabonis. Yeah, so that's all for the props for that game, the Sacramento. Let's see. Yeah, so that's all for that game. We're not seeing nothing much here on that. Just bear with me for one moment. Just hold on. Bear with me for one moment. I'm just going to pull something up here. One moment. So now we're going to go to the next game here, as you see on the screen. It's actually the last game on the board. Clippers at Portland. So this one's coming up now. Clippers played last. Actually, sorry. So this game opened up, as you see, -6, total 222. Right now we're looking at mainly majority is 219.5. That's what we're looking at right now, and it's gone to 6.5. All right, so we're going to look at the history of this game here. Sacramento. I'm sorry. This Clipper game. We're going to look at the Clipper one for the history. Let's see if anything stands out. This is, like I said, the last game on the board we're going to be checking out. Clippers at Portland. This is the one. Head to head. They played twice already, both in LA. October 30th to begin the season. Clippers were an 8-point favorite. The total was 219. Clippers won 106-105. Portland covered and it was under 219. Second game last month in LA. Clippers were 8.5-point favorites, total 221. Clippers won 127-105. They did cover the spread and went over the total. This one here, for the third game, this one is in Portland. This one is 6.5-point favorites Clippers. That's the minus thing here, and it's 219.5. So let's look at the Clippers' form. Last 10 games, 4-6. Last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. That's Portland. Portland last 10. So Portland's last 10, 4-6, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Clippers 6-4 last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. So my take is I would lean to the under. I don't see anything changing in this series, especially this year. I would take the under. Under the total here. Under 219.5. I like the under. I would lean to the under in this game. No props for this game at all. I'm not seeing any props right now. If I see any props, I'll let you know in my best bets picks this afternoon. But no props as of right now. So that's it for the NBA. We're gonna go now to the NHL. You'll look at a few games here. First matchup: Anaheim at Tampa. Totals over 6. Tampa Bay favored. We're going to take a look at this matchup. They already played last week in Anaheim, and it was 4-1 Anaheim. They won at home. Let's see. The last 10 between these two teams, 8-2. Lightning 5-5 against the spread. Against other opposition, Anaheim 4-5-1, 4-6 to the under. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay 4-5-1 last 10, 4-6 to the under. Anaheim last 10, 5-4-1, 3-6 to the under. Okay. So this game here, I will lean to the over 6 goals. I know Anaheim played yesterday, or actually played 2 days ago. Both teams played 2 days ago. They're on a off day. But so far on this road trip, 1-2-1 to the under. So far on this road trip, it's a 6-game road trip. So I would lean to the under. I would lean to the over here, over 6, for sure. I know so far Tampa's been playing to the under on the road trip, but I'm going to lean to the over. I'm going to lean to the over here tonight. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take the over 6. I lean that way. That's my lean there. Sides, no opinion on the sides, just the lean to the over. Next game is San Jose at Columbus. This one here is 6, total 6, and Columbus favorite. Alright, so this game here we're looking at 6-4 Columbus against the 6-4 overall, 4-6 to the under. They play once, and it was 2-1 San Jose in San Jose, and it stayed under 6.5 goals. San Jose's current form: 3-7 last 10, 3-7 to the under. Columbus 6-8-2 last 10, 7-3 to the over. And Columbus has won 5 straight games. So I do see Columbus here winning tonight. I will take them on the money line, and I bet the under San Jose Columbus, under 6 goals. I definitely would bet that. Okay, the next game we're looking at, Washington at Ottawa. Total is 5.5 goals. Ottawa favored. Head-to-head last is 5-5, 6-4 to the over. The last meetings. Washington last 10, 6-1 and 1-2. Last 10, 5-5 over under. Ottawa 4-5-1 last 10, 0-8 and 2 to the under. So Ottawa's won 3 straight. They've gone over under 3 straight times. Washington, 4 straight times they've gone under. So, to me, in this particular game, I like the despite the history between these two teams going over, I like the under in this game. Under 5.5 goals. I like the under. I think this will be another defensive battle, like a playoff preview, defensive battle. And based on the trends these two teams are going in terms of the playing the total, I would lean, like I said, to the under in this game for sure. So no side on this game at all, none whatsoever. So far, nothing, no sides. Next game we're going to look at, Detroit at Florida. Florida opened up at over 6, total 195. Let's see. Detroit, Florida. Detroit, Florida overall 9-1. Florida last 10, 2-6-2 to the under. Detroit's last 10 against other opposition, 7-3, 8-2 to the over. Florida 4-5-1 last 10, 3-7 to the under. This one I have no opinion on, no comment on this game at all. This one's a pass, none whatsoever. Next game, New Jersey at Toronto. Jersey's 5.5 point favorites, and Jersey, Toronto. Sorry, it's 5.5 is the total. Excuse me, and New Jersey is the favorite. I apologize for that. Head-to-head last 10. Now they've already played twice already, but the Leafs have won the last 2 games, so the 7-3 last 10 head-to-head, 5-5 over under. October 18th, 2024, New Jersey. Toronto won 4-2. They were under 6.5 goals. Second game, December 10th, 2-1 Leafs on a Sunday, and then. Yeah, that's the only one that sticks out to a sore thumb, that one. The games are the head-to-head. So both games went under the total the first 2 times. Yeah, I don't see anything of that changing whatsoever. So I would lean towards the under. Under 5.5 goals, New Jersey, Toronto. Plus Toronto's starting to be an under team a little bit, so that's another reason why I'm factoring the under for Toronto, New Jersey. Next game, Philadelphia at the Islanders. Total 5.5 and minus 140 now. Pittsburgh, their favorite. Last 10 meetings, 7-3, 4-6 to the under. And then Philadelphia, without any opposition, 4-4, 1-1. Last 10, 3-6-1 to the under. Islanders, last 10. Yeah, last 10. We're looking at 5-5 and 4-6 to the under. Last 10. So. The last 10, both teams are playing under the total, and in this series, it's been an under series. So I would definitely lean and look at under 5.5 goals. I'll definitely look into that. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely look at the under that game for as a lean. No, nothing on the side, just that. That's it. Next up, Chicago at Nashville. This one is open up at 6 totals. There's no total in this game. There should be a total. 210. I'm sorry, Chicago, Nashville is total 6. Nashville favored. They're the favorites here. Head to head, I believe these two teams have played already. Yes, they played beginning of the season, October 25th in Chicago. Nashville won 3-2, and it went under the 6 goals. Okay, that's head to head. In its current form now, Chicago 2-8 last 10, 7-1 to the 7-1-2 to the over. Nashville 5-5 last 10, 5-5 to the over under. This game here, I would lean towards, let's see. I lean towards Chicago. I know they've lost 5 straight games to these guys, but I would lean to Chicago here to break that slump and streak. So I like that one. Definitely like that one for sure. Next one we're looking at. Let's see. Montreal and Dallas. They didn't play not too long ago. The total was 6. Dallas favored. Yeah, they played January 11th in Montreal. Montreal won 2-1 in a shootout. Last 10 meetings between these two teams, 7-3 last 10, 5-4-1 to the over. So that's the one there. Let's breathe me for one moment. Montreal against other opposition, 8-1-1, last 10, 1-6-3 to the under. Dallas, 8-1-1, last 10, 1-6-3 to the under. Last 10 Montreal, 7-2-1, 4-5-1 to the under. So we're going to look into this matchup here. Let's see. Again, we do have both teams that are playing under the total. Both these teams are playing towards the under. Last game showed under. I'm going to go ahead and take the under as well. Under 160. 160 and a half, 160. I'm going to grab the under. I'm sorry. Under 6 goals. Excuse me. Under 6 goals. That's the way I'm going to go. Under 6. Remember, they played already too, and it went under. So I expect the same thing again. Under. Next game's Detroit, Florida. Total 6. And Florida favored. Yes, so let's see here. Detroit 9-1, last 10 against Indiana. I'm sorry, against Florida, 2-6-2 to the under. So I like that one. I mean, that's a good one there. Detroit 7-3 last 10, 8-2 to the over. Now keep in mind, Detroit, they had won 8 games in a row. And during that 8-game winning streak, they went 7-1 to the over. Keep that in mind. San Jose came in there and beat them. This is basically Florida here. We see that they're 4-5-1 last 10, 3-7 to the under. So they're basically flip-flopping over-unders all the time. So let's see, we're seeing here. I would lean to the under Detroit, Florida, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get there or not. But it's just a lean. I'm not sure if I'll get to that. In terms of the side, no play on the side. Next game, Calgary, St. Louis. St. Louis, the total is 5.5. St. Louis favored. And they just played 2 days ago. St. Louis won that game 2-1. Low scoring affair, 2-1. Now before that, this game was played in Calgary last month. Calgary won 4-3 in a shootout. The total was over 5.5. This one remains at 5.5. This game this time is in St. Louis. St. Louis has dominated this series. I don't see anything changing. The only thing I can lean towards, I lean towards St. Louis. Money line, or you can do the puck line, 1.5 goals. I'll take St. Louis in this one. I would lean towards the money line. That's my lean. In terms of the over-under, nothing on the over-under. That's a pass. Nothing there. So definitely a pass on that one. I would take St. Louis money line, or just do the 1.5 point goals. That's just a lean. That's it. Seattle at Winnipeg. Total 5.5 goals, and Winnipeg 220 favored. So they played once in the regular season, October 24th, early in the season in Seattle, and it went 4-3 in overtime, and it went over 5.5 goals. So it was at 5.5. This next game here, this one is also at 5.5, but I expect Winnipeg to return the favor here as a lean. I lean towards that. Definitely would lean towards that for sure. Yeah, I would definitely lean to the over. That's a good one. Seattle's last 10, 6-2-2, and then 6-3-1 to the over. Seattle won 2 straight games. I'm sorry, Winnipeg's lost 2 straight games. They've actually won 2 straight games. Excuse me. Not reading the screen properly. And then we're looking at Seattle. They're an over team as well. Seattle's on this big road trip. Out of the 4 games on the road trip, they've gone 3-0-1 to the over on the 4-game trip. So although they're 2-2, they're doing very well in the over department. Their offense is coming alive. And this is the last game of the road trip, so I definitely would lean Seattle. Seattle puck line or the Seattle money line, either one I'd lean towards that way. In terms of the props, nothing there for that. That's it. No, nothing there. Or sides, anything for the sides, nothing there for the side. Rangers at Utah, total 6, and Utah, it's even. The game is even in terms of the money line, but let's see if they played late as of yet. So they played earlier this year, October 12th, and this is in New York. It was 6-5 in overtime and went over the total. This one here, still the same. So since then, we'll look into this further. So right now 3-0. This right now last 5 3-0. I see. Hold on, one moment. So the last 5 for the Rangers: 4-4-2. Last 10 games, excuse me, 4-4-2, 5-5. The over/under. Utah 2-7-1. Last 10, 3-7 to the under. This time around, I would lean towards the under in this game. Definitely lean towards the under. Both teams are trending in that direction, even though the first game was not an under game. But I would lean to the under. Under 6. Lean to that one for sure. All right, so next game, Edmonton at Colorado. Total over 6.5. Even money for the favorite and non-favorite. Last 10 games head-to-head, Edmonton, Colorado. Played November 30th last year. In Colorado, Edmonton actually won that 4-1, and it went under the total. This has basically been an under series. Pretty much been an under series. So that's why I would look at the under. Both teams correlating to the under, so I definitely look at the under. In terms of the side, let's see here. Edmonton's won 3 straight games. They've been playing well. I lean to Edmonton and Colorado. I like Edmonton on the puck line and money line as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they won the game outright. They've won in there already. So they've won in Colorado already. They've already won in there already last year. So I wouldn't surprise me if they won again. And I'd lean to the under as well at the same time. So money line, Edmonton, or you can do the puck line and then do the under for that game. Last one, we're looking at LA Vancouver. Total 5.5. LA favored. This matchup here, last 10 games, 5-5, 2-7-1 to the under. They did play a month ago. 2 months ago, November 7th. They have played. It was in LA. Vancouver won 4-2. That was the first meeting, and it went over the total. Vancouver 3-4-3 last 10, 5-5 to the over. I would lean more into the under. This is more like an under. I lean under 5.5 goals. Head to head, they've gone under. I know they went over in the first game, but I think this is going to regress back to the under, based on the team's last 10 games. 3-7 LA to the under. Vancouver 5-5. They're kind of even. This leads me to believe that this is going to be an under. Prior to that, Vancouver went under 3 straight games before. 3 games on the road trip they went under. Then they went over against Winnipeg. So I like the under here a lot. That's my lean and play for that. So the NHL is finished. So now we're going to look at a few college basketball plays here. For college basketball, we're going to take a look at that now. We'll look at Memphis and Temple. Memphis opened up as a 7.5 point favorite, total 154. Right now we're looking at 156.5, total 8.5. So look at the situation here. We'll do a few of the college games, not all of them, but some of the marquee games. So this one here we're going to look at, let's see. I think it was Memphis Temple. Let me see. Yeah, Memphis Temple, that was the one. So we're going to look at the last 10 meetings between these two teams. 7-3 Memphis, 4-5-1 against the spread. Temple 7-3 to the over. Memphis without playing other opposition. 7-3 last 10, 3-7 against the spread, 5-5. 5-5 to the over/under. Temple 6-4 last 10, 5-4 against the spread, 7-2 to the over. So look at this one some more. We'll look into this one some more. Let's see. Let's see. Memphis has won 4 straight games, but they haven't really played anybody. They only played Mississippi State in that 4-game winning streak. Everybody else was below tier level. Temple. Let's see. Temple. What is 8.5? Let's see. This one for now is a pass. I have no strong play on this one. Tough one to call, so I pass on that game. Next game. Michigan, Minnesota. Open up at -10. The total 144.5. The total now is at 143.5. And the spread is all the way to 10. -10. So that's for that game. Michigan at Minnesota. So this one here, last 10 games head-to-head, 6-4 Michigan, 4-6 against the spread Minnesota, 3-7 to the under. Michigan against other opposition, last 10, 8-2, 7-3 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Minnesota, 3-7 last 10, 2-7 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. My plays in over. I like Michigan, Minnesota over the total. I like the over a lot. Both teams are playing to the over right now, so I like the over in this game. In terms of the side, I lean towards Michigan. Michigan, they've covered their last 3 home games. On the road now. Only covered USC on the road as a 5.5 point favorite. That's it. So that's what I would do. Take the over and lean Michigan to cover over the 144 and take Michigan to cover the points. Might get there. I'm not sure if I'll get there or not. We'll see. But that's how I would do for that one. So those are the. Let's see here. Yeah, those are the main games for college basketball right now. Those are the main 2 marquee games, big name school games. That's it for now. Nothing else at this point in time in terms of and leans for NBA, college basketball, and hockey. Like I said, when I come back this afternoon, I'll be able to give you my top picks for college basketball, NBA, and the NHL. Nothing else. So think about what we talked about this morning. Go over what we talked about. And then I'll come back with my final picks and thoughts on these games. Until then, stay true to yourself, stay blessed, stay humble. Be good to yourself. Have a great morning. Peace. We'll see you this afternoon.